I admit, it's not easy taking care of a smiling ball of scales. Otherwise known as the leopard gecko, this animal is no exception to the unusual challenge that goes into taking care of an exotic pet. Between appearance to habitat, there's a lot you need to consider if you were to adopt one. But once you achieve this understanding of its environmental needs, your Leo's next smile will be quite rewarding. When we think of household pets, we think of a dog or a cat, not reptiles. Based off a survey that I have conducted, 71% of you are unable to identify a leopard gecko, and 100% of you are unfamiliar with how to take care of one. Knowing the kind of thinking that goes into taking care of a leopard gecko might be beneficial to you because you could apply this style of thinking towards enriching the life of your own pet. Leopard geckos need a lot of things to be cared for, and that includes knowing their origins, what kind of food and light they need, as well as what sort of home to provide it. While researching for this presentation, I have reviewed several sources, such as papers by Damian Zelensky of the University of Life Sciences and a paper by the zoologist Mohammad Sharif Khan. Additionally, I have reviewed the RSPCA's leopard gecko care sheet, as well as a scientific study by the Journal of Herpetological Medicine and Surgery. During this presentation, we will go over 3 points: defining the leopard gecko, sustaining it, and providing a home for it. So first and foremost, what is a Leo and where does it live? You can identify a Leo with its small, slim body as well as its ringed, bumpy tail that tapers off towards the end. Its colors range from pale orange to yellow, and with white being a secondary color on its underbelly or its tail. Something that's worth noting is that Leos can also come in a large variety of colors or patterns. According to the RSPCA, we define Leos like this as morphs, and morphs can be found in domestically bred environments. Leos come from Asian countries such as Afghanistan and Pakistan. More specifically, according to Mohammad Sharif Khan, Leos come from the salt range of Punjab, Pakistan, where they live in relatively humid environments, hiding in rocky crevices. Leos are crepuscular, meaning that they hunt or just generally are active during dawn and dusk respectively, where they forage for small insects. Leos in the wild live in colonies of 6 to 7, usually headed by one male. Khan defines these colonies into 2 types: a pre-breeding colony and a post-breeding colony, where in the pre-breeding colony, young males just fight for dominance, and a post-breeding colony in which the colony is overrun by juvenile leopard geckos. Now that we have taken a look at the leopard gecko's origins, we can now take a glance at how to sustain one. Sustaining a leopard gecko means knowing what it eats as well as what sort of lamps to provide it. We like to just mimic Leo's diet in the wild. According to Khan, Leos are insectivorous. They eat a huge variety of insects, such as beetles or scorpions. Since this isn't feasible domestically, we turn towards feeder insects such as dubia roaches, mealworms, and crickets. You can feed your Leo by 1 bug per body inch from the tip of its nose to the base of its tail. Leos also need calcium powder, a plain white substance that you can place in a little rubber cap on the floor of a tank. In terms of lighting, a very mandatory lamp for the Leo is the ultraviolet B radiation lamp, which not only allows the Leo to replenish its own vitamin D3, it also prevents metabolic bone disease, which is a disease, an illness that destroys your Leo's skeleton. Leos also need heat, so we give them the heat bulb. Pretty self-explanatory. During the day, you have a slate placed under the lamp, so that slate can absorb the emitting heat, and then at night, when all the lights are off, the Leo can crawl on and then gather that heat through its belly. Now that we have taken a look at a Leo's basic sustainability, let's take a look at what sort of home it lives in. We place Leos in 40-gallon glass tanks filled with lots of objects. The tank in question has has two doors that swing out open on the front, and the walls can be covered in a rocky backdrop to increase security. We place both lamps on one side. You can place both lamps on one side of the tank and then have a water bowl on the other side, which will establish a thermal gradient and thus allow the leopard gecko to choose where it would like to be. What you put on the floor depends on the Leo's age. A younger Leo will be placed on paper towels, meaning that so you can clean up after it more easily and prevent it from ingesting anything harmful. Leos that get older, however, can live on substrate. According to the RSPCA, one ideal substrate is a 50-50 mix between organic soil and some sort of soft sand like reptile sand or play sand. Leos need 3 hides, 1 hide on each side of a tank, and then a third hide in the middle called the humid hide. This is where Leos go to shed because it's going to be filled with moss that you spritz every so often. Leos also need lots of objects to hide under, such as fake plants or tunnels. According to Damian Zelensky, it is ideal to provide your Leo the opportunity to exhibit its instinctive behaviors, such as hiding or climbing. Not only is it engaging and enriching for the Leo, but it also, just all of these items to hide under, to interact with, will make the Leo feel a lot safer and away from any predatory eyes. To wrap the speech up, Leos require a lot of maintenance, especially with how hyper-specific their needs can get. But this knowledge is pretty obscure because you won't be seeing a Leo, or any reptile for that matter, in the common household. Today, you've taken a look at what you can expect as a caretaker for the Leo, meaning you are able to identify its appearance, its wild habitat, as well as what its needs, as well as what sort of home you can construct for it. Although the speech is ending, you have newfound knowledge of the leopard gecko. But the question is, what will you do with this information? Will you go out and increase your understanding of the leopard geckos and maybe even other reptiles? Or will you take this kind of thinking and apply it to your own pet as a means to enrich its life one way or another? Leos are just like any other pet in that they need attention and care, and pets are our friends and family. We should treat them as such. One way we can express this is by making sure they're living comfortably, happily, and healthily. And when you do this, when you achieve this, your pet is bound to smile at you, just like a leopard gecko.